All right, last time I read this story, I had an appendix. So I'm really hoping my storytelling powers are not in my appendix, because that thing is fucking gone. This is a story written by Zach. It's about having a cool mom, and I had a cool mom too. So sit back, pretend we're in the holiday mode, because this is a holiday story. When my two sisters and I were growing up, our mother was rarely one to instigate adventures. As a single mother of three, her priorities included raising her children and making sure food was on the table. That's not to say that she was in any way devoid of fun, but growing up without much money in small-town Texas didn't necessarily offer too many opportunities for thrills. On Black Friday 2008, an opportunity just so happened to present itself. One night, I was alone in my room when there was a knock on my door. "Come in," I said. My mother entered slowly with a smile that immediately caught my attention. It was the same look that she had on her face when, as a kid, she would sneak me confetti eggs at Easter gatherings to crack over unsuspecting relatives' heads. She put her pointer finger to her lips. Whatever she said was about to be a secret that I needed to keep my voice down. She slowly closed the door behind her before tiptoeing over to me. I saw that she was holding a Walmart circular, the holiday edition. "Bud," she whispered, "look." She flipped to a page that was folded down at the top right corner, and there it was, a brand new, top-of-the-line, super sleek HP desktop computer with the words "Black Friday savings" splashed across the top of the page. I asked her why she was showing me this. "Bud, look at the price of that computer. I can afford that." She explained, "What if you and I got up really early on Black Friday, snuck out while your sisters are still asleep, and brought this computer as a surprise for Christmas?" News clips of people storming into stores at the ass crack of dawn in order to save some money on their holiday shopping, literally trampling one another, flashed before my eyes. I looked up to see my mom, smiling even bigger now, as if to assume that the wider her grin was, the more I would be convinced to participate. "What time do we have to be there?" I asked her begrudgingly. "We'll probably need to wake up at 4 a.m. She whispered excitedly. "Do not tell your sisters. It's going to be a surprise, promise?" I laughed at how excited she was and assured her that she had my word. You see, my mom works at an elementary school as a paraprofessional, helping Spanish-speaking children who have immigrated get up to speed academically. She is the perfect blend of poise, kindness, humor, and gentleness. She's the type of Southern woman who refuses to go to the Dollar General without a full face of makeup, her hair perfectly coiffed. And she always dedicates time to stop and talk to familiar faces she sees while out running errands. On the eve of Black Friday, my mom knocked on the door and whispered, "Are we still on?" I was admittedly giddy. Excitement for my first Black Friday experience. "Oh, we on," I replied to her. At 3:45 a.m., we woke up, got dressed, and walked outside to a troubling sight. "Mom, where's the car?" I whispered worriedly. "I parked it down the street last night so your sisters wouldn't see us leave." She said so matter-of-factly, this was not her first rodeo. On the car ride to Walmart, I held the circular in my hand, studying the earmarked page to memorize what that computer looked like. My mom explained that once we got inside, I was to hurry off without her, and she would come find me after I secured the goods. She was in full Indiana Jones mode, and I was here for it. We arrived after a short drive and saw that the line had already begun to form. We parked and hurried to find our spot in the back of the line. Soon after, a Walmart employee came outside to smoke and chat with their family members who were standing directly in front of us. "Yeah, we're pretty sure that the computer's going to go fast. Everyone at the front of the line said that's what they came here for." That's what they said. Yeah, what's out on the floor is all we have, so once they're gone, it's gone. The look on my mom's face transitioned rapidly from neutral to concerned, then mild defeat, then back to neutral, as if to say, damn it, this was too good to be true. Suddenly, an excitement began to build throughout the line. It was almost time for the doors to open. My mom had already assured me that if we get the computer, great, but if not, we would still find some deals on items that we could surprise my sisters with. She patted the top of my back gently, as only a parent can, and told me that if we come up short, at least we can say that we tried. Her mini pep talk made me breathe a sigh of relief, and I looked forward to strolling through those automatic sliding glass doors with her, all in the name of spreading that holiday joy. Then roughly 1 minute before the doors were set to open, a new crowd emerged. They sure waited the last minute, a woman yelled in her pajamas behind us as she scoffed. The late arrivals began to gather directly across the doors that were set to open within 30 seconds. Hey, the line starts back here, a man in a cowboy hat said. They're going to cut the line, a female elementary school warned the masses. Boom, in a flash. The doors opened. The newcomers darted across the parking lot straight into Walmart, completely disrespecting the sanctity of the single file line of patient shoppers. Then I watched as the people toward the front of the line, filled with rage, all began charging in. I looked to my right to see a mob of my single file line brethren sprinting, shoving, and clawing their way to the front of the line. This is just like how I saw it in the news. This is human depravity, I thought to myself. I stopped there, frozen in place, as I watched hordes of people charging to the front of this store. I knew my beloved mother, who took pride in raising me to be a gentleman who holds doors open for others, uses his manners when addressing adults, and always lets others go before me, wouldn't want me partaking in this Neanderthal-like behavior. Facing defeat, knowing that those computers were as good as gone, I began to turn to my mom, standing behind me to console her and reassure her that we would find another great gift. I pivoted on my left foot, turned around and looked down at my mom, whose smile had completely disappeared. Her eyes were wide. Her eyebrows were raised as high as they could go. She had a firm grip on her purse straps, and she didn't move a muscle while locking eyes with mine. Then, in a voice and tone I had never heard come out of her mouth, she exclaimed, "Run!" I stood, catatonic, as I stared back at her in horror. I had never seen that wild look in her eye or heard her voice be so guttural. I didn't know if she was kidding or not. After 0.5 seconds, I realized she was in fact not kidding and that I needed to turn back around and move it. I did a 180. And began jogging toward the front of the line. I looked back, a mass of people were flooding in my direction, and my jog turned into a full sprint. I was determined to find that goddamn computer. I dodged moms with rolling carts already filled with items and innocent children who looked on in tired amazement at the mayhem around them. I ran with my arms in the air at some points like an inflatable tube man on the loose, making myself as thin as possible and moving through crowded parts of the superstore. I bobbed and weaved through women's clothing and reaching the electronics section to find not one, but several computer boxes sitting in a pile with a large red bow at the top of that stack. 1 minute later, my mom rounded the corner with her buggy as she quickly scanned the aisle looking for me. "Mom, over here!" I shouted, as if I was a survivor on the Titanic waving down a lifeboat. "You got it!" She cheered excitedly, her eyebrows lowered and a smile of gratitude was on her face as she approached me, proudly holding the box with sweat dripping down the sides of my face. She said, "Good job, bud." After completing our purchase, my mom and I walked peacefully back to the car with our new computer. "Hey," she said gently, "wasn't that fun?" "For you, maybe," I balked at her, wiping a bead of sweat from my upper lip. I shoved past an old lady from our Catholic church to get that stupid computer. She said, I know. But didn't you just have a little bit of fun?" She said that with a grin. I couldn't help but laugh in agreement. We sat in her Ford Taurus and reminisced about the insanity that just had transpired. The entire experience was over in the blink of an eye, but my mom was bound and determined to get that computer for her kids, even if it meant sending her only son into battle. The computer was a huge hit. My sisters ripped apart the wrapping paper, and I glanced at my mom, who was smiling from ear to ear. She winked at me, and I shook my head and laughed. My siblings and I spent countless hours on that computer, and my mother and I eventually shared the story about the Black Friday from hell with them, which included my dramatic interpretation of my mom's voice when she yelled for me to run. My mom is getting older, and on top of her full-time job, duties, and responsibilities of my mom and grandma, she is the sole caretaker for her mom, who lives with dementia. Despite the toll her various commitments take on her, she still finds time to create little adventures every now and then. Although we never went back to experience a Black Friday shopping spree again, I am grateful for that morning with my mom, despite how hectic it was. It's a memory that she and I will have together that will always make us laugh, bring a smile to our faces, and anytime we see news footage of Black Friday shoppers storming into retail stores during the wee hours of the morning, she and I will inevitably lean forward in our seats and yell, "Run!" Thank you.
All right, give it up for Matt. No risk, no reward, right? Get up 4 a.m., capitalism, family memories, Jesus, Christmas, all that fun stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our last story for the night. Give it up for all of our story writers and our readers. You are all so fabulous. Give your own selves an applause for being even extra fabulous. And give me an applause for being fabulous too. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, that wraps it up. I want to thank Grown Up Storytime, as always, for being a great place to have fun, to share our stories, to laugh, to cry, to live and love, and laugh, and love, and live, and laugh. And with that, good night, everyone. Have a great night. I'm Miss Mikey. It's been a pleasure. We'll see y'all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.